Weewaawo nkwaniriza nnyo ku STV era yonna gy'osinzira okuba ng'otwegasseeko amakya ga leero olunaku lwakubiri ennaku z'omwezi 2 omwezi ogwokubiri omwaka 2021 nga bwe twabasuubiza wiiki ewedde tujja kuba tukomawo ne puroguramu yammwe eŋŋanzi STV The Sharp Talk n'omukukunavu Joseph Tamale Mirundi mutabani wa Mole Namatovu wamu ne Mirundi Yowaana era nga njagala bakulisaayo mu mwezi guli omukadde omwezi gwenjogerako gwasookedde ddala mu mwaka 2021 era ne guno ogwokubiri tugutandise omwezi abamukumwe gumuyita omwezi ogw'omukwano nagwo ate tugenda kuba nga tugumalako ate tukwate n'ogwokusatu n'omwaka gugweko ate tukwate n'omulala naye ekyokuyita njagala obbajjukiza nti buli olukya tojja kuddamu ddusanga for as long as tukyagobera kalenda ya Gregory olunaku olugwa oluvaawo olunaku oluyita tokyaddamu ddusanga kino kitukubiriza okukola buli kimu kyetukola ntupulaninge nga tupulaningira mu maaso na biki bye twagala okufuna mu bulamu amannya nze Simon Chris Makanga era nga tugenda tulira ensonga nnyingi nnyo ezigenda mu maaso mu ggwanga omuli petitions eza petition y'ebyava mu kulonda ba NUP babiwakanya era olunaku olw'eggulo bawaddeyo petition nga baloopa electoral commission baloopa Anthony General ne baloopa ne NRM wamu ne President Museveni era nga yakulira ekibiina ekyo ensonga nnyingi nnyo omuli neya abasibe 49 abawagizi ba NUP ababadde mu court martial eggulo awo Makindye era nga babazizaayo ekitalya nga bakuddanga ennaku z'omwezi 8 omwezi guno ensonga yo tujja tunuulira ku nsonga ya 165 billion shillings ez'ababaka ba parliament zigambibwa nti Minister of Finance eri mu kunoonya obagulira emmotoka empya jjukira nti ababaka parliament bali 527 parliament yo 11 ensonga nnyingi ezigenda mu maaso mu ggwanga for real Major General Paul Okech adumira amyuka omuduumizi wa poliisi mu ggwanga naye alina byayogedde ng'alabula bonna abalina ba bodyguards abakuba basituza ensawo ebyo omukukunavu naye ajja kuba kyakyogerako COVID-19 singa obudde bukkiriza tujja kwogera ku nsonga ya COVID-19 vaccination drug President Museveni gyalaunching wiiki ewedde n'okuddayo ku masomero cabinet olunaku olw'eggulo yatudde omwabadde ab'ebyenjigiriza wamu n'ab'ebyobulamu ne batugamba nti mukulembeze w'eggwanga olunaku olw'enkya yagenda okuba nga awa ekyenkomeredde ekyo ekyavudde mu meeting katutandike omukulu Joseph Tamale Mirundi bagenda gira naye sooka obuuze kuba tulaba
baganda bange kwe bali bagamba mbu simanyi tekinologi kale kano kalaba kano kalina kamera kawulira emita 10
kyembadde ngenda okubuuza kawulira distance yenkana wa
mita more than 10 meters ate kadijustinga
no matter how long you speak over
kakati mugenda kutuula ku discussing nenkateeka yandi akalaba ate nkakontrolingira ewange ku remote
bulaba nnyo ne bannamawulire mu mawanga
bufaanagana
bareporters babeera eno ng'omuntu addressing abeere naye ng'akutte bukwasi
abaserikale bange be bampa okunkuuma nga baagala okunzita ennaku zino mbalagako ku technology nembaga do you see that let you watch those people who are sitting naye nabagamba nti mbadde obukadde 10 mukebere ekyuma ekyo munju kanjigule mukinoonyeemu mbawo obukadde 10 tegenologi tumulina era ensobi gye baakola bagenda e Russia ne babagamba nti eyo mashini weeri naye agiraaninga gwemudescribinga nti drunkard si yagiraaninga ne bagamba nti president yateekawo unity kakati ate bagenda okumulaba ng'atransforminga CDs aziteeka ku modern machine ne babagamba nti Museveni si yabimuwa yesterday there was an interesting meeting byonna abakooba byayogera ate banna abakooba mbasaasira when you see others keeping quiet avoiding issues lwaki gwe ofuuka toilet etali jikitinga kintu.
What do you mean somebody becoming a toilet?
Yes. Kakati nze mmanyi ebintu bingi wano meeting yabaddeyo ngimanyi baakomyewo ne batuula president yabagambye ekiwandiiko kyammwe ekisudde mu kasero nabaga nti ekiwandiiko ekirala mukiteekeko omukono mugende wa Tamale Mirundi abateereko omukono.
Oyogera ku baani abo Mzee Tamale? Let's make this very clear.
There is a big scandal here. And I can tell you, ndabye Nabakooba ng'abizannyiramu. Cabinet is making a very big mistake.
Cabinet
A law cannot be retrogressive. We have a scandal involving killing of Ugandans, extracting their organs for sale. And the international, the ICC has issued 47
warrants.
International warrants of arrest against these people. 100 are being investigated. The Pakistani initially thought, as he was squeezing my nose, was arrested. And 4 people have been added on. The Chinese I played recently have been arrested.
I did research in regards to
60.
You are passionately interested in the story of human body trafficking.
Human body parts. Cabinet.
Yatula mu mwaka
ogwedde. Kubuulidde abireeta atya kati takimanyi. President yabagobye.
On the 4th of June.
Gwe n'Abakooba kankubuulize. Get it from me. The group you are defending went to the president yesterday and chased them to face the International Court of Justice.
Okay.
Let me tell you Nabakooba. Kakati mwekambabuulire.
Council, can you information? I didn't make my research for nothing. Nganya omwezi gwa June 2020 kigambibwa nti cabinet Uganda's cabinet yatula and approved a bill that is enacted by parliament and will regulate human organ donation and trade in the East African country.
Cabinet yeswala 2,000 Ugandans were taken to India and their organs extracted. There is a man who took 500 girls outside Uganda. Their organs were extracted. He came back, closed his company, and invested in a bus. Evidence, bajebayina. Immigration department will be empty. Abantu basinga obungi passport babadde tebagendayo. The immigration department at Entebbe Airport is in big trouble. Mbabuulira.
Zetamale, where are you heading? And what is the essence of talking?
60%.
You're so passionate.
60% of your surgeons about to board the plane. What I said, instead of this young girl messing up with a very explosive situation, I gave you as a mass communicator, a man who did the public relations and international relations and international law. Let the government come up, use credible people like Rugunda, and say the Ugandan government with the ICC are carrying out investigations on allegations of human unprofessional, call it unprofessional, extraction of human organs.
Zetamale kankubuzi wano katono yisoko lindeko. Olowooza singa bayisa billion gye bayise
teyina weeyita baali baagala kuprotectinga kino nkugambye ne cabinet okifulumya olwaliro yawula madalas.
Because according to some non-government organizations,
gwe problemu yo toyina logic. I've told you that this proposal this woman is talking about has come about, is now revealing, is in order to defend
what has been happening.
Can the cabinet protect these people who have already been indicted? And for your information, these people have hired lawyers at a tune of $5 million. Kati ayogera ki? Toyinza gamba kankubuulire toyinza gamba nti bulira tekiriiyo nedde bandeeterwa omulala kuba you are fair to listen. What I'm telling you, that this issue is now overtaken. The criminals wanted to protect the law and the law, but these crimes occurred before the law. and they are indicted,
Which is okay.
47 of them. Kakati you bring a law to protect these ones. Is never cover sensible.
To protect further incidents.
I think nkubuulidde mumaze okyonoona ekyo temukyogerako kyobula pulezidenti yabagobye Museveni tatera kunyiiga naye bw'aba yakutte ekiwandiiko kyabwe and it is not in their defense. The statement they wrote kubanza ebyuma byange nkulaba waliwo lwe bakwata obupapula nga babuwandiika bwe bati ngaera mbulaba ekyo ekiwandiiko wekitayipingira mba nkulaba. They have three defense fact points. One, the Pakistani who came here as an investor in informaticals. We only gave him an investor's license. What about photographs linking you to this Pakistan? And the Pakistan is in a prison. The second point was that, yes, thousands of Ugandans were killed in India. Omanyi nti abaana abawala babe basangako abasajja 15 edde bwe baggwangamu amaanyi ne batwala mu Slaughter House. Is what cabinet wants to protect now?
But okay, what I want you to agree
These
with
are crimes already committed,
yes,
which cannot be covered by a proposal. In fact, it indicates that the criminals, because some are ministers, were behind this law. Nabakuba kyatamanyi teyasoma logic.
A law which is not in existence. Njagala kunyonyola before to
ande nkugambye terikyasoboka kati. Ero kati kikutegeeza they are exposing themselves and they are dragging the whole cabinet into it. Ekyo tekyogerako kati. Because we are not complaining. This they have already been issued with arrest international gund. ICC. And they went to the president to defend them. How could Museveni, nete muina magezi basajjamu, can Museveni come up and defend the killers? Kakati Nabakooba don't be like a toilet.
Let's move on.
And the problem with the Nabakoobas, baletebwa ba agents. Nabakooba, I can give you information. N'omwana nga abadde ku mirundi official bamutomedde mu mmotoka. Killing evidence. You not kill the evidence. What if the ICC addresses a press conference? Will you block them as you are blocking in internet? Are you going to break it? Can you hide? Can you none hide her prisoners? The prisoners will explode. This scandal is going to explode. The ministers of health must resign. The permanent secretary Yabaddeyo in must resign. Diana called me a madman. You prepare how to handle this scandal. You cannot stop ICC by talking about a non-existing law.
A court martial division nawe Makindye ranga aba 49 suspects nga bano babirunginga ku NUP ranga bawagizi ba National Unity Platform omwezi gumwe mabega bakwatibwa side zeyo ekalangala nga kigambe bali abawagizi 10 plus then ne batwalibwa makusaka mu koti abamu baba wa bail then 49 of them ne batwalibwa ekitaya so nako lweggulo babaddeko maaso g'omulamuzi wa court martial Lieutenant General Andrew Guti era babadde bagenda kulibwa bail application y'okusinziira ku omuwabi wa government oba yabadde ku ludda oluwabi yagambye nti bail applications ezo zatuuse ku makya era tebafunye
that is not my problem.
So kyagenza okuggwa nga omulamuzi Andrew Guti alamula court martial
naye bali mulamula
mpaka ng'ennaku
ojja kumulaba nga international community emujimbi Guti
omusango okukwatibwa mbu basangibwa n'amasasi 4 era nga waliwo omusaaki eyaliwo saidi zaabwe makerere omu ku buwagizi ba NUP naye tebafunayo evidence.
You see,
muzeitamaliwo njagala okuleeta
nze mbabuulira it is all a failure to handle a problem. When you fail to handle a problem, you resort to illogical solutions. If there is an organization I defend much, is UPDF. That's why immediately I got information. Yaki baba bulidde n'entebe kyabakola asooka n'abawa obutambi wulira eddoboozi eryo siriryo n'abakuba batabimanyi. Because I defend UPDF, that's why the UPDF, I'm a commander, moved swiftly and General Sabi to protect me and my home. You are killing a UPDF. Why? And this is the remaining pillar of the state we have to talk about.
The UPDF.
You cannot take a civilians to court martial. When did this man, a court martial is for what? If you read the dictionary, a court martial is for what?
For soldiers.
When did this criminal join the army? My solution would be,
that belong to the army.
We have educated soldiers with master's degrees in law. Some of them are more knowledgeable about law than the judges you are talking about. Why do you create an anti-corruption court, which is a corruption court, a kangaroo court, even if that judge is going to be, is under investigation, is operating a kangaroo court?
Lieutenant General
you want corruption. Why don't you create a court for serious crimes headed by a soldier? Make it soldier judges. We have highly educated people in the army. Tinyefunza has been registering first class everywhere he goes. Harotinga. Egundi Mugira has a master's in law. Tumukunde himself has a master's in law. Kayugula has a master's in law. Why don't instead of diluting the court martial by taking their criminals, the military council should sit and say no. Appoint, how long does it take to become a judge? In Uganda, a judge comes from failed chambers. There is no judge. Look what is them, examine them. Who worked in a well-functioning chamber? Judges are recruited from failed chambers. Those who have failed to make money. Either they are appointed, like Muriagonja, to protect the interests of the mafias. Kakati, why don't we create a special court for criminals? Because Gundi Yachifuna, the president is facing the same problem Bush faced. Bush yakwatanga ba criminals, ba terrorists, n'abatwala mu America. The moment they landed on American soil, they were treated differently. Liberties, American liberties. What Bush decided to do was open up tough prisons in Eastern Europe, which was illegal. Until Atonda Muyamba, the back of Twin Towers, then the American judges realized the danger of terrorists and became tough. Kakati muchifo kyokutta court martial. Appoint, in fact, I don't know. It is only in Uganda where a deputy headmaster cannot become headmaster. I don't mean that. Chief magistrates, however educated they are, cannot become judges. Judges are picked from failed lawyers. Kakati, if the army has educated, highly educated people, like those I've mentioned and others, why don't we have a special court to deal and live with the court martial? Because you were saying that if a conman dressed in a religious castle is arrested in Kampala, conning the people, masquerading as a priest, should be arraigned before Lubaga Onda Mirembe. Is he a priest? You were elevated. The man will tell you when did I join the theological school. So these issues, me, I can understand. Look what Wembley, and look what the Wembley in the Philippines. The Wembley in the Philippines, the president of Philippines brought a law in the parliament insulating those who are involved in the Wembley against the future persecution, prostitution. Now in Uganda, Kayanja is not protected. Another government will come and say these were rebels. Tumukunde, because of his legal knowledge, formidability. Yagamba one, temukwata ku mundu zange ezaayiso mu Wembley. Two, sijja kubikola. I'm a lawyer. Kayanja, he was not a lawyer, just fumbled. He took it as an opportunity for publicity. Katali protected. Unless you make a law, again, to protect Kayanja and others who participated in the Wembley.
But these 49 suspects,
my kwalo
Bobi Wine
nti my kwalo is not anybody in Uganda can be arrested. I move with my hammer here. Have you ever seen me smashing somebody?
It's for your own protection.
Yes, I was talking to police officers this morning. Ninjibalaga, it is for my protection.
But it's not an army weapon.
President yabagamba nti tatambula n'asidi, tatambula n'ennyondo, akubeko omuntu omu, ayireko omuntu omu, nja mukangavula n'okusinga bwe nali nkoze. Papa, they wanted to disarm me to kill me. Kakati tegamba, this does not qualify me to be a carpenter. No. Any Ugandan must be arrested. But even the methodology of arresting is bad. Mumwaleta enkola ya LC. If we want to arrest Mirundi, mweche mutamanyi abantu balina verdict zaabwe. Bw'ojja ku kyalo n'okwata omuntu abantu bagamba Museveni takwatira abantu babwerere. Museveni does not arrest innocent people. Oyo yakoze manyanga ge. This is the verdict on the village. The villagers cannot, they don't express sympathy because Museveni does not arrest innocent people.
So Linga Gamba, these 49 suspects...
It's only the methodology which is wrong. The way you arrested them. Kakati kankubuulire omupoliisi wa Arua yaga nti Bobi Wine yayina emmundu bwe yajja mu gundi yaga nalaba ddole n'asigalamu ng'akola abantu tebakwasa omuntu. Ati kyenkubuulira nti we call it mu political science tukiyita embarking on a self-destruction mission. The government has embarked on a self-destruction mission, destroying its institutions. Nti gwe ensiri ogireetera mbazi abaganda bakugamba nti abaana ne bakulaba ng'oggyeyo omugo nti jjajja agenda kukuba mmese se mmese eyammwe abaana baseka. You just step on a rat. Kakati the question is methodology. Anybody is arrestable. Arrest him. Naye n'olaba abasajja nga balwana n'omusajja kooti gwetadde premises za kooti ate tebuli ya Mary sijja omutubuliki n'obuyubuya ne mujja emmotoka zaffe ez'akamunye tezikyatwala abantu. Why don't you follow up with this man? N'atuuka ewuwe ne mumukwata nga tebalaba ne mumuzzayo ne mumukyajeeyo. Cardinal Nsonga wrote a letter to Obote saying you are turning courts into a kasajjafuba. Kasajjafuba is a scarecrow. The issue of arresting people and detaining them on detention, kuba bwe baakukwatanga kyesiimira was acquitted, but he was detained on detention orders. Kirunda Luwuliza used to move in bars with detention orders. During Obote's time, we had so people we used to call lodgers who were kept in New Zealand, but was a lawyer, no charge. Are we going back? Are we say, can this be done in the Museveni's government?
But literally is what is
happening. Somebody is panicking. Somebody is acting. Bago babagezi bonna. Kugenti tumukunde yagamba temukwata ku muntu yayiso neeki. N'agamba without an insulating law, I cannot allow Yiso to kill people extrajudicially.
Are we going back in the 80s?
And kyekubuulira, some people lack brains.
And could this be the last kicks of a dying horse?
We political science akugamba when the system overstays in power, it develops political inertia. Tikakati ife Abaganda ntukugamba ti ekisobe kiba kigenda okuggalira muvaamu ebiswa ebitoto biyita bingazamba. You see the people are defending government. They are comparable to bingazamba.
What is that?
Yes. Sensible people are running away. N'okwata Bobi Wine n'agenda mu kkooti n'abawaabira ne wabula waaga nti nze nasindika y'abaserikale. Why are you running? If I go home nembuuza abaana bange nti ani ajjewo ekintu kya ani ataddeko difu ne bantunuulira bwe bati.
Kitegeeza waliwo ekizibu.
Yes. Wakiri muwayirize bebi ti bebi obwedda yagizanyirako beeni obwedda yagizanyirako nze ntegeera nti beeni tagizanyirako bano abakulu bano naye how can you then if government doesn't know who deployed soldiers at Bobi Wine's residence, it means you are not in charge. A Minister of Internal Affairs goes to Parliament and says, I don't know who is arresting people. Why don't you resign? So are you saying that the government, there is a subterfuge that is very powerful in the government?
The government within government.
Hey, for Abaganda tuchita chitambo. Abaganda tuina Lubaale. And I'm one of the people who believes in witchcraft. My tradition. Kakati Lubaale is a combination of a museum and others, the ancestors who died. For us, we believe like a religion. Kati abajulizi bakola ebyewuunyo, they are near God. Nebaganda traditions believe that way. These ones look far, they are no longer human beings. So, and Mugabe said, an African becomes more dangerous in death.
Abamuzibu nnyo ng'afudde.
Ng'afudde. That's Mugabe. Kakati ekitambo, when it invades Lubaale, Lubaale does not talk. It captures Lubaale. It's more powerful. Era omusawo Muganda atali mubbi ajja bagamba Lubaale wa mwalimu ekitambo. When it comes, kakati, is this government having ekitambo?
And the question kibuuzo kijja.
Nti a Minister of Internal Affairs comes to Parliament and says, I don't know who he is arresting people. And he's a general. So if you don't know, who knows? You are damaging the dent of the government. If the Minister of Internal Affairs doesn't know who are arresting people, do you expect a serious investor to come here? This is disorder. A state must be able to control its territory. A state must be able to control security. A state must be able to control coercive forces. Kakati nedda tebamanyi bye boogera. And the cabinet seat, no later be a cabinet enkadde in the face of indictment involving 47 people. No byogera. Nti bano bye bakola etteeka tali tetenabeera no ebituufu. You can never cover defend this before the international, the ICC that has issued 47 warrants of arrest. Does never cover know that the affected people have hired the international lawyers at the tune of $4 million
to deal with the matter,
to defend them. And the ICC never cover. Let me educate you. ICC, you have to go there in person. So will these people say that there is a Minister of Information in Uganda? The Minister of Information in Uganda told you there was an office, an ofingiro. So we did this because we would be protected. Nabakova.
Katwongerezeko kya Major General Paul Okech, amyuka omuduumizi wa poliisi mu ggwanga yavuddeyo n'awa ebiragiro olunaku olw'eggulo n'agamba nti awadde salesale wa ssaawa 48 eri amakomera okujja bonna be baakwata okubatwala mu kooti abataapyaringa before court babatwale mu kooti n'awa n'ekiragiro ekirala n'agamba nti abakungu bonna abalina aba bodyguards abakwasa ensawo abaguzaawo enzigi abakosa emirimu gye batalina kukola bakikomye mu nnambiro w'omwana atera okugamba nti okkiriza bodyguard okugulya luki
no akagula tekaliiyo nti ntambula mu Kampala omuserikale anveeko emabega n'emmundu amayini danger anti bati bamanyi type VIP protection and all of those people you give security are VIP. Do you know that a Uganda red passport is not respected?
But Minister,
you go anywhere internationally and you wave your red passport, you'll be arrested. They will be spied on. Why? Your red passports are not with the dignitaries, criminals. mwazijja ku kintu kyayo ne zifuuka an intimidation tool. Ayina oyo nno ayina olaba ndabana bakusiramu nga bakayana nze tebampise kukusiibulukuka ebbaluwa kati eyange ogiraba nebeera ku kyalo because you are running a primitive society. A person to be omuserikale okumuwa omuntu baali badde bamala n'emmere gy'oli awaka. Omuntu omuwa omuserikale yali madde kulaga nti ayina ka unipoti wamusuza. Omuserikale okumuwa omuntu baali badde bayita famire ye. Look what dogs. Embwa bwe bagikuleetera ewaka ezo training bakubuuza eneemanya abantu bameka olusu lwabwe. Kyobula bambasekerera temuyina bini enzigi z'ebigalo. Oluggi lw'ebigalo sambu omu yaaba nayo. Kakati kitegeeza nti that person ayina sambu eyo ayina obeera ku duty. This is why in Europe you work for 7 hours ne baleetawo omulala. Kakati because ebigalo temuyina muntu asobola kubeerawo permanently. Buli mu staff ayina ekigalo kiggulawo. Is it a locked door?
What is it? There's the way you analyze.
Hey. Kubanga you see is mutunulya court. Court yagamba you are defamed before the well-thinking members of society. How does court define a well-thinking member of society? Era nze nabaga nti wali asobola kuntwala mu court. I did media law. Tulina emisango gya defamation egiri very important. Naye abalamuzi bamwe tebagimu. Nga bwe nabagamba ogw'obukofiira. Many judges don't know it. Omusango gwa defamation ogwewunyisa ensi. Abaganda bagamba Ben Kiwanuka abamawulire abaleke these fools, these idiots. Batadde mu katabo kaabwe kali akawedde question and answer that they talked to me when they didn't. But if I grab any of you, did you talk to me? Single part of Bugasia. These people, in their last edition, they alleged assertively, question and answer. Did any idiot from this newspaper come to talk to me? No sanga TV and radio, in media law, whoever helps to spread that information is reliable. Natunda Mauli is reliable.
You're not very involved.
Ne chidira ebibadde eno ne kibiteeke tebamanyi. Kakati omusango gwa defamation abaganda abamawulire babuuza Ben Kiwanuka Kabaka yekka. You are now chief minister. You were Muganda. Who will be going to the other? The Kabaka or you? Ben Kiwanuka being a lawyer said, on matters of tradition, I will go to Mengo because I'm a Muganda. On matters of national matters, the Kabaka must come to Entebbe because I'm a chief minister. The same statement was made by Museveni. Amusaba gabe wabagabe ba Buganda. Yes, lwaki tekyaliita problem. Kakati Obote n'agenda mu Northern Uganda n'abagamba temulonda Ben Kiwanuka. Ben Kiwanuka tasana mu kabaka w'ekitiibwa. Ben Kiwanuka went to court. The Chief Justice then was a Nigerian called Saudo Udoma. Saudo Udoma told Kiwanuka, you were defamed before the well-thinking members of society. I want you to bring me 10 people who don't know that a chief minister is more powerful than the Kabaka of Buganda. Bamubula.
Natalie.
Siba walala. It was a defamation to illiterates in Buganda, traditionalists, radicals. It was not a defamation before the well-thinking members of society. Kiwanuka was lost in the case. Abagezi. And you must show a loss. Omusajja ono bwe yanjogerako I lost this. Before we ne mu kirabu ya Rotary bangobyemu. Abalamuzi tebakimanyi. Tebamanyi defamation oyo omukazi manyiri msabe. Ate tamanyiddeeko ddala. Kakati nkubuule. Twalayo defamation case Elizabeth Musoke tamanyi. Tamanyi defamation. Most of your judges don't understand defamation. Kakati kiri kye bajjawo Obote yakireeta nti ne bw'oloota obuloosi ng'oli pulezidenti wa Uganda, you report to the police, oba twakiyitanga tutya nti yes, era to escape twakugambanga abeetoolodde Museveni abamwetoolodde nga if you mention the president himself that is responsible, tulina bwe twali tukiyita. Another interesting defamation case yali Abu Mayanja against munno. Abu Mayanja yagenda ku mawuleti n'agamba abasiraamu abavubuka abatomba kunga muwasa ababiikira abakatuliki ne bamulumba. Agamba ati okuwasa ababiikira kubanga ababiikira be basisita. Bikira Maria tebakitegeera gyekyavu. Bikira kigambo kya Luwarabu ekitegeeza virgin. Abu Mayanja tuuku muno tu kooti. Sinnabagambako nti nkunze abasiraamu bawase bannanisi mumbayita babiikira from the Virgin Mary. The word bikira in Arab means a virgin. I was encouraging Muslim youth to marry virgin girls. No, that's the case. The Catholic Church contributed 40,000 emitwalo ena to compensate Abu Mayanja nazimbamu n'ennyumba ye yerungujja. So kakati why am I explaining this? These are VIP protectors. Do you deploy them to VIPs? Kati mu Uganda muno
we need to define the VIPs.
Mu Uganda muno mulimu ofiisa w'amagye saagala nyiigire naye bamuyita Fende Kaveera mwewe tewapamwa bamuyita Fende Kaveera. Yes, kakati mwe first define who is a VIP. Nti kakati osanga omukazi nga Bwanga mumumanyi Bwanga tayimirira ku bitaala. Bwanga busajja bwattu obw'emmundu ne buvaamu nga bumugoba n'olaba kulannama omusamize ayina abaserikale pick up ng'otwalayo mwana waani ate jjajja mundu akuuma atya jjajja mayembe mu tradition tekiri. Yes, define who is a VIP. Lecture them on how abaserikale obatwala under these conditions.
Only accorded to president, vice president, and ambulance.
The right of way erikwani ku president n'ambulance ne fire. Kakati bannayuganda kyenkugambye nti we are busy eroding the importance and the status of our institutions. Omanyi lwaki bannayuganda tebaviira ambulances? Bazipangisamu abasaabaze. Ogenda Ntebe nti giyingiremu bazihayalinga. Nze mbabuuza aba taxi mikwano gyange lwaki temuviira fire? In Uganda a fire vehicle emala kuvujjamu baserikale to clear the road. Why? Baba batwala mazzi. There is no fire. Kakati institution zonna red passport mwagitta koti maaso mugisse VIP protection mugisse. What are you remaining with?
Wewa awono wejagala tuyongerere n'emboozi endala yakozama on the weekend oba week ewedde. Emboozi eriwe ennaku zino nga tunaba kutuwa kweje musinga okubanga mwetaaga okuwulira eya petition tujja gitukako maaso. Ne katono nnyo katuseke tujjewo ne kino ekya parliament oba ekyabaka parliament bakalonda. Ministry of Finance eri mu kunoonya ssente ziri wakati wa 165 billions nga ssente zino nno zatuli abaka mmotoka. Tujjukira nti ne parliament ewedde parliament ye-10 emboozi emu yaliwo era ssente zaamala ne ziyisibwa omubaka wa parliament baaweebwa miliyoni 10 ze baakozesa okugula emmotoka. Ku luno ababaka parliament beeyongeddeko okuva mu 448 ku 527 era nga ku luno budget ya parliament esuubira n'okweyongera okuva ku 667 billions okweyongera ku 7 njogera ku billions. So eyo budget tebagenda okukozesa mu kino ekisanja ekiddako. So ku luno mu zino ssente ezigenda okubanga zitandikibwako ze billion 165 ezegula emmotoka. Ekyebuuzibwa ezo ssente tunaazijjawa? Yo ababaka beetaagisibwa okuba n'ezo that kind of facilitation oba nedda? Mukupuna bwenjagala oyingirire.
There are 3 issues which a simple brain cannot understand. One, is it entitled to them? Because
yes, it is.
The framers of the Constitution were many lawyers. And that's what I tell you, until we should rewrite the constitution without the shadow of Obote, without nostalgia, thinking about the past. But when you read your constitution, they looked at the presidency. The presidency caused us trouble. The president of Uganda has much powers, which is not. In fact, the president of Uganda does not have much powers. One, his appointments are vetted. He does not. At one time, he was required to go to Parliament, to ask Parliament to declare war. These were idealist lawyers. But the president of the United States, initially says appointments. When his appointee is rejected, he waits Congress, negenda mu recess n'amuteekawo. Museveni takiina. America balina kye bayita political decision doctrine. The president of the United States has declared war on Saddam Hussein. Nobody quarrels, cannot petition. This is a political decision doctrine. Museveni takirina. Kati babano bwe baatunuuliza naye mbagamba, look, Museveni bwe yajja mu buyinza yafugira mu constitution y'enkaaga mu musanvu abantu gye bakaasinga n'abatagisomangamu. Did he put people in detention orders? Did he abuse it? The same constitution gye mukaaba, which means is the personality, not the constitution.
Personality?
Yes. Contrary to what many Ugandans don't know, the 1962, the Constitution of 1962, the Constitution of 1966, the Constitution of 1967, the Constitution of 1995, they all contain excellent bills of rights. No Ugandans have been done this. Nobody should do this. A Ugandan should not remain in custody for over. A constitution remains a piece of paper and a will unless it is implemented. Have you ever seen a constitution going to CPS to release prisoners who have exceeded the constitution time limit to remain there and charged? Yes.
So it's still
kakati bano baddira obwa president ne babunafuya. It's only because of Museveni's status. Anaddako nga talina status talina kyajja kukola. Constitution yemujjako powers zonna. Kakati today, Museveni cannot even pardon nti abasibe abali e Luzira. Abasibe abali e Luzira, the Attorney General must write to the OC in charge of prisons nti pardon ye, and the president tasobola kusonyiwa nga province guilty. President forgives you not to serve a sentence. Kati yena bwayimirira naga nti ababoda bonna batadde tebavaayo. Saamini.
Only those that pleaded guilty tebavaayo.
Saamini. Kakati bano ne bajja bagamba nti ababaka ba parliament basala nnyo eddiiro ne baleeta etteeka eri obutagula shopping. You can only grasshop in the last year. Parliament hands over to another parliament. Kati kambabuuli. Be bawangudde mu parliament abakyagituulamu up to May be bakola byabaki? Where did they derive their powers? Abantu babajjemu obwesige. Can you stand and say that I'm representing the people of this area who voted you out?
Of course. Until the term is over. Ati
kyenkubuulidde nti abo baakola as if everybody in the parliament will be coming back. Omusajja ono eyasaze eddiiro mu mwaka gw'ogusembayo n'ava mu FDC n'alaga mu NUP akyatudde ku saidi bwe bakubirayo ne bagamba nti gundi baba parliament obeta okuyisa mu constitution ya nkaaga musanvu helicopters were hovering over the parliament. Bagisanga mu pigeon hole zaabwe bagisa tebagisomyeko. Kakati abadde bagamba how do we protect the parliament as lawyers, as lawyers? Kakati parliament yekolere ku nsako zaayo like in the US. Yes, in USA, what type of VIP congressmen do you have there? Who wants to get money? Are they businessmen like you? Who bribe people?
What kind of MPs do we have?
Abagula. Kuba kakati is a business. Nti amanya tujja kufuna $5,000,000 million 5 times 60 anti omwaka gumu gulimu emyezi 12 times 5 times ng'afuna emyezi 6 emyezi 6 afuna emitwalo 5 oli mwezi se bilioni 3 kakati bilioni 3 agenda wa manerenda agenda mu banka yes nafuna milioni 3 ezeggula emmotoka agigula omanyi nti naluzinze election ne bamuwabira n'addayo n'akomawo afuna emmotoka endala milioni 3 mu
ate okweyo ensonga omukulu
kakati kyembabuuza ate ng'akitunulamu atya this is a constitutional issue nkugambye talina ngalabi ye gyaleega ate bano tebajja kubikyusa parliament cannot ate tekiri provided for a referendum tekikyuka okujjako ng'abantu be baleese as I'm telling you, you don't have VIPs who should be protected. Some people don't qualify. Abaganda bakuga toyina sente zigula mmere ng'ogula embwa. Some people abamu bayagala okumanya ba drivers. Do you know why some so-called VIPs die in accidents? Kamiro ke kabatisa agenda apo country driver bamuwa emitwalo gimusanvu padde n'azibba yagula ennyama ono amuvuga amaziga gakulukuta n'amusuza mu kigundi mu kiboys quarter kakube mu kkubo nga mukomawo badriver be babatta abo bemulaba baminisita bafiiridde mu bubeeyi. Do the drivers die? Kamiro is not a VIP. Kakati gamba nti that's one. It is their constitutional right
to have the cars.
To have the cars.
And all the other benefits.
Two,
but is it
as a political scientist, I tell you, there is what we call a ward dividend. If you have 100 MPs, abatasobola kwekolera, who must rely on politics? Nga batuwa emirembe ne tukola ffe ebirala bawe. How long, if you sit down to calculate the cost of war in northern Uganda, the cost of war in Teso, how much money did we spend? Tanka ya amaje enywa amafuta ga sente mmeka? Ennyonyi eyebonga mu banka enywa amafuta ga sente mmeka? Bullets zigula sente mmeka ezigenda mu lutalo? Kati ffe tukugamba mu political science. If you can solve this issue by providing this is the essence in Mwagala Federal. Federal is expensive. You have several layers of authority. Look at Tanzania, the Zanzibar government, the mainland government, the union government. It's mainly to insulate conflicts, barrier. Abatasobola okukola bali as long as nti abasobola okukola n'emitwe gyaffe batuwa peace. But I want to tell you, explain it to me. Why should a man like Rwakoji fight for his wife to be in the parliament? Why should my friend Chirumira ensure that his wife in the parliament? Why should all of these people have their wives in the parliament? Parliament is yenguzi. To get a deal, you know, when you have our sent a trusted person. So it is business as usual.
Ngaba na Uganda, Uganda, na batula ku dinner table planning Uganda. Do we know our priorities? Wabo tunulira sente spending last 2016 Sanja parliament 10 spending 7.9 billion okugula emotoka mpaka yafuna milioni 15.
That's not the issue. Bana abatutaba ne babatire ebweru bana 12 bana 5 bana bameka bavu. These are the wealthiest people in Uganda. Kamiro bantu kuba bana babaduse misinde ne baduka bati oboge niamwe machiwa man. I cannot mention your names. You are killing me for nothing. Tusobola kubogera.
Do we know our priorities?
Temusobola kutuula ku bomu eno bajja kubalabanga mutemba abantu bajja balabanga mutemba ennyonyi abantu bajja balaba nti abantu ba Uganda na musanvu prominent Ugandans are involved have been indicted for killing Ugandans in India and bagambye president mu kiwandiiko kya neti yekisomi the responsibility we have is our companies hand over these people to other companies ebikolebwayo tebibimanyi nga mwagamba mmwe mwennyini mwagamba nti company eri wano has a responsibility gundi Bigirimana n'avayo gundi legalize nemugoba mu genda mukyala mukwaya nemugoba mu genda. You can see how powerful these people are. Ekyo ekiwandiiko kiba ku ntumi bakiwa kamuntu teyakibawaako kamuntu nakitwala wa president Butere bamukubye mu kalulu. This is a very powerful group. Nze nkisobola nze ojja omazeeko nze mbasobola wano nzekka bakubye ejogo bakubye ne mbatuusa kwa ICC dollars ejogo lyonna mbikubye ne ndibamalamu. Nkugambye wa wasting time anti nkugambye this is a constitutional right that the parliament determines its salaries. In America, Congress determines their salaries and allowances in relation to inflation. Kati kitigiri is a constitutional matter. Bagenze kulia is business. Era okumanya abasajja bo bagezi bakugamba this is sitting allowance. Bulinge yo wakabina and sit. It is not talking allowance. If it was talking allowance, many MPs would go back empty-handed because many of them spend 5 years without making their maiden speeches. It's sitting allowance. Come with your buttocks and sit.
And you walk out with the 50,000.
You address the issue, unlike you. Me, I look at the root cause. The framers of the Constitution gave Parliament without knowing these are not parliamentarians. They don't qualify to be parliamentarians. They don't have. This is business, and you will kill yourself. You go and study India. In India, after election, 40% of the candidates die. They are assassinated.
Why?
But why is life and death? Oh, you go to India after an election. Most of the MPs fight murder cases, but opponents because abasajja abazungu baabuuza nti mutunuulire bannakenya badduka nnyo n'Abaethiopia ne bakola research ne bakwata abazungu ne babatwala mu areas ezo ne balya emmere y'emu ne babaga nti mmwe nga temudduka nga bali. Baprofesa ba psychology abatali beemakerere ne babagamba nti these people are running away from poverty. The only way of getting money, graduating from poverty, is learning. This is what bakimanyi ti bwodduka emisinde ofuna sente n'ogaggawala. They are running away from poverty. So the parliament you have is not a representative parliament. These are not a legislative assembly. A legislative assembly sticks itself to legislating law. This one no butaleebuleta, which is good. Kadaga has popularized parliament. Nti UN ina combat, UN ina ICC to be ferreted by an ordinary ICC comes kati bano abajozi banani yali bakutteko. Abajozi nsaba gifukidde ne bagiriya ku mutwe ani yali badde abakwatako. ICC ebbanga eriwanuddeyo. So if parliament efuuse LC one council nga buli kimu ekikolako okufuna tenda bakulwanyisa nti bagikugjako okukola ki bakulwanyisa okudifendinga covid bajja kulya sente auditor general mbwa naye talina kyakola yagamba nabba ettaka n'alikomendinga mu birundi yabba ettaka akabukedde ne kakula.
Nze Tamale olabyeko gavumenti ez'enjawulo bw'otunuulira gavumenti eriko sawa zino n'engeri gye tutambula osobola tukubira ekifaananyi bwe tulaga mu myaka 10 tugenda kubeera wa.
Amin did not have democracy, was in power for 9 years. You saw the repercussions. We have an expensive political structure. You have seen. We are just what I'm talking about, the methodology of arresting people, taking civilians to court martial. In the politics, we call them political hygiene. It's not a storm. These are things that can be. Njagala omusajja oyo yerokekyo afuuke minisita wa internal affairs olabenko noddayo okulaba atunda passport za Uganda. These immigration officials are going to go. Babadde tebalabana ku muntu. Foreigners come here. Abente baba immigration. Million emu buli muntu. Abo bagenda okudduka. ab'entebe bagenda okudduka bali bandaba kati abaserikale bagenda kudduka bonna babayina ba immigration official tebalaba ku bantu waliwo eddwaliro wano mu Kampala mulimu amadwaliro agasinga obungi gonna n'agabamisa mulimu baddokita abakuula naye waliwo eddwaliro erimu lyo mwe badde bakima yero gundi yero gundi buno obupapula sitampu eyo mpitirivu nnyo ate lyabannaddiini. This scandal is going to embarrass. Mugenda kulaba dokita dduka mugenda galaba nga tegakyajja. That's why for me I tell you, protect the hospitals. Arrest these surgeons before the public pounces on them. Instead of Nabakova talking rubbish. There is no law. This confirms that you wanted the law to protect your crimes. What type of woman is this?
Well, katunga tuva ku nsonga y'ababaka parliament olunaku luno za lwali nga tumaliriza wiiki eyewedde amagye nago gaalonda representatives baabwe 10 era nga amateeka ligamba nti kwabe 10 kuteekwa okubaako abakyala 3 era nga list twagifuna lwakadde sigenda kugiyitamu naye ekibuuzo
era n'ekyo nakyo
amagye mu parliament omugaso gwa
yes. There are two purposes. One, it demonstrates that the revolution was a combined effort between the civilians and the armed wing. Very good. Two is that there is a misconception nti amagye bwe gajja ne gatunuulira tegawamba government. That's wrong. When you pamper the generals, the sergeant does emerge. See, NRMCSOs, UNLA, yayina amagye 10. By that time in 1980, I was a parliamentary reporter. Uito Jok used to sit on the opposition side. Amagye galimu 10. Obote tegamuwamba. That's not a safeguard. Naye the concern is yes. When you take these soldiers to witness thieves sharing the money,
and they are not entitled to any payment.
And they are not entitled. Are you not tempting them? Two, let us look at the past. Why are people like Tinyefunza go to parliament? Why Bogere and others? The reason is simple. Our soldiers are highly educated, very highly educated. When you talk to these soldiers, I get an opportunity of talking to top up. No, you get enough. You cannot even say that you are talking to a soldier. Nabagandi ka kamilioni yako kali kazanya jeno yali azanya gundi bino ebyammwe bino agenda akafumita omuti kamukuba oluyi naye jeno yadduka misinde kamukuba oluyi jeno ka kamilioni yatema butemi. Why? Siriama officer cannot engage ni gambling yatema butemi yeye yadduka nagula n'abamolete mumpandikako era story teryagimanyi. These are the type of soldiers we have. Kakati toyinza kudya musajja Tinyefunza ayina magezi mutwe n'omugamba nti adde mu parliament to listen. Even me, you cannot. We are not going to contribute. That's why I don't go to church. Nti police yanvume nze simudde mukwata akazindaalo tuyinza kumuvumira mu church nkayolerawo. Era there is a new trend. Don't fight the Catholic Church. I'm telling you. I've observed the 2 incidents. Ineka malishiri ekyamagye kakati amagye gagende katunulira ababbi
ngaboti bafunamu
abamagye abo bafuna emmotoka zino miliyoni za 3.5 zemugenda okuwa bano nga teri mwabo abafuna emmotoka ze 3.5 Seriko yagigula ne Bobi Wine bagula za miliyoni 2. Are you telling the soldiers to go and witness this?
Yes, lwaki president
bamuvangamu you see, nkwatirako the Baganda saying nkwatirako tebufuuka bumbowa. Obumbowa is a god. But if you say Mr. Mirundi, nkwatirako simu yange. I'm not your mumbowa. So you must keep this in mind. The what are you telling them? To guard the witness thieves sharing their route. What would be their role? It is very embarrassing. That's why I cannot accept Dombo, Chiwanda, Tinze Mirundi, Balunza Kachiko publicity. Dibere once woman. Why don't you give me my budget? So we once wow. I'm more senior. Kakatebereza ejeno amekamanda ali mu parliament ngoga nti chairman wa defense committee civilian atamayina bagula mundu is more kale. The soldiers should be given an active role in the parliament. Security committee must be headed by a soldier. Minister of Internal Committee must be headed by a soldier. These people. And these are listening points. They are infanteries. They are partisan. No, corruption is not partisan. A soldier should be allowed to say. A soldier should be allowed to say, you people, this is because a soldier pays. Kale, gundi, and Plato yachoge. A soldier is more important. As you civilians, you evacuate, a soldier goes to die. And who
do they report to?
All of these things need reforms. You cannot tell intelligent people to go to witness receive sharing. That's what the essence of Kadak. We have allocated the money. Zibagendo kubaze tumanyi mu COVID na chimu mere. Abaka parliament wo. Bali makutwala. They alone must be defined. There is no partisan.
Kasoke tugende mu kuya katoyo n'oluvanyuma tukomewo ne STV the Sharp Talk era nga tugenda ensonga nyingi nyezigenda maaso mu ggwanga tukyatunira ensonga y'ababaka parliament ebitaano abiri mu musanvu ne amagye ga ba representatives ba UPDF abaze mu parliament. For now kasoke tutumulemu katono nnyo tukomewo.
Watching STV, select for fun.
Ensi yonna yalumbibwa akawuka ka coronavirus. Ebitongole ebitali bimu bivuddeyo okunoonyereza ddagala ki eriyinza okuwonya COVID-19. Hexis Healthcare Department yayiyiza akaveera kano ka sitiika ke bayise Pure Zone k'oteeka mu bifo ebikwatibwamu ennyo ng'eminyolo, emmeeza, enzigi. Ng'akaveera kano kakendeeza ensaasaana y'akawuka. Okateeka buteesi awasinga okukwatibwa buli akwatako ng'alina akawuka konna kafa bufi. Ate gwe omulala bw'ojja n'okwatako toyinza kuvaawo n'akawuka ako. Akaveera kano kayite sitiika Pure Zone kakakasibwa mu nsi yonna kati n'wetwogerera katuuse mu Uganda. National Drug Authority yabakkiriza okukatunda n'okukasaasanya mu ggwanga. Bakayise Antimicrobial Protective Film Hexis Pure Zone. Mu Uganda katundibwa Nobak International Limited. Abasangewe ploti 556 nakulabe 44B Makerere Hill Road oba bafune ku ssimu 0759 42 33 38 oba 0752 53 46 31.
Kwerinda nkulu nnyo era omuntu asaanidde okwekuuma n'ebibye. Wano nno Eagle Eye Security and Technologies Limited weeviiriddeyo. Balina buli kika kya CCTV camera, alarm systems, bw'owa ekidduka kyo ng'emmotoka oba pikipiki weefulire GPS tracking system okuva mu bakafulu bano. Balina fensi z'amasannyalaze, razor wire ne access control ez'enzigi. Basange Najjanankumbi, Entebbe Road okumpi ne Shell Kazi opposite TNT Supermarket. Bakubire ku ssimu 0705 367 732 oba 0789 357 099. Eagle Eye Security and Technologies Limited.
Hey guys, you're watching STV, select for fun.
Webale kubanga okyekuumidde ku STV the Sharp Talk tukyatambulira ddala wamu n'omukuku na Joseph Tamale Mirundi era nga njagala kwebaza gwe atambudde naffe okuva bwe twatandise paka waneeno naye gwe ate akatwegattako ojjidde kaseera nga tutunuulidde ensonga eziwererako ddala. Twatunuulidde ensonga y'aba 49 suspects ba supporters ba NUP ababadde mu court martial eggulo era nga baddizibwayo ekitalya nga bakomezebwawo mu kooti okubanga bawulira bail applications zaabwe nga 8 omwezi guno. Netunulira n'ensonga ya abaka ba parliament ekikumi ebitaano abirimu omusanvu era nga ne budget yeetagisibwa ya 165 billions ezobagulira emmotoka era nga kigambibwa nti buli mubaka wa parliament ajja kuba yeetagisibwa miliyoni 313 okubanga bagulira emmotoka. Kati batunulira ensonga ya the 10 representatives bannamagye ababeera mu parliament omugaso gwabwe kutuula butuuzi ne bawuliriza era nga ekibuuzo kiri nti who do they report to?
Yeah, I always tell my friends, I've worked for Uganda, I've worked for the president, but I have not been rewarded. Kakati, amawugwega were affected by poison.
Sorry about that.
I swallow a tampeko of charcoal every day. And my brother, the professor, Salian clear tablets. Tell my friends, I have a few years to live. Kakati mbadde mutaddeko SC. Kati my children are doctors. Bayina buno obusweta. I think I forgot to put it inside.
Sorry about that.
Tulwanye entalo naye tetufunyeemu. Ate president yamunyaabunyanyi. Kubanga president yamunyaabunyanyi. Abasajja bo baali basazeewo tukompasate 20 billion. N'abagamba muzirete nzimuwe yazikwata.
Ani yazikwata?
President yazikwata. Kati anaziwa mulambo. Ku akaunti yange kwaliko ssente. Akaunti 200 yasiba naye yange yagisibiramu. Yasiba akaunti 10. Baavu bazibu. Baadde bagenze bamusabe. Tisebo. Tunagula tutya balooya nga akaunti zaffe wazisiba. N'abakoba tebamubuulira. Never is a house girl in a family. Yet tatya land road. Ayinza nobaga nti mu nnyumba mwali kuba tamanyi land road. Tamanyi ennyumba yammwe ye n'abakoba tamanyi kigenda mu maaso. Kakati that's my concerns. Nti the soldiers, the boundary, what is the partisan? The army cannot be partisan. I don't believe so. How can the army be partisan?
It has to be partisan.
Yes.
I mean, it has to
the
be
army,
non-partisan.
Mbabuli, even in the US, a highly developed countries. In Germany, a minister of defense, you go by an equivalent of the army commander. Nti yamusanze mu kifo muli abasiyaka. Chancellor cut short his visit to go back and solve the problem. In USA, abasajja batabinira de bawandiika ekitabo nga baagala ssente empitirivu. The equivalent of the army commander yalina mu helicopter ye n'abagamba SEALs are part of USA Army. You cannot claim any money. Publish that book, we shall arrest you. Mache. In Turkey, if the army rejects you, you cannot rule the country. Mache. Amaje tuyitagaga nti ate kuogedde ebiri partisan. Amaje ye abita. Nti in case tunulira. Mubaraka bwe yafuna crisis amaje ge gajjawo. Ge last resort. Gokasasula na musaayi.
Mugabe ge
if they allow the politicians to mess up things, they pay by their blood. Not in my opinion, the army cannot be partisan. Ntiboogedde bali partisan. Where will they express? That's why ntiboogera mutya. Lwaki mutya? Kubaga ina power. Kakati tegayinza genda mu parliament noga nti mujja kubba ssente nkagala. That would be a warning. Nti naye olwokubaga libaali bagakuddemu amannyo. Abasajja baatula mu parliament bati nyefunza batula omusajja atamanyi na Lungereza. Atwala ssente mmeka. Atamanyi naki? Tate mwogere. Oyita ojooko. Yatulanga ku side ya DP. One day, baali badiscussinga bino byemulaba bino. Si byenaleeba. Okuwa former president ensako. Was started by UPC government. I was reporting in parliament as I told you. Kakati Okwenje yali secretary to the cabinet n'agamba. It was totally strongly opposed by the Democratic Party members. Kakati Okwenje kyeyava agamba. I don't see why My colleagues on the other side are strongly opposed to this bill because one day someone can be a beneficiary. As president of Uganda, we to joke on a God forbid. Never later motion in Dalamu Parliament to remove soldiers, the 10 soldiers in the Parliament. Baba ki discuss it. Amaje kumika vemu. Olwabacholia eri batandise okukyawa olutalo. Batandise okwogera ebikyamu mu gundi. End the war. What? Nebaleeta olugezigezi nti babajje mu magi. Oyita ojoko yayimirira. Mr. Speaker, sir, yali butagira. I'm afraid. If you pass that motion as it is, tomorrow you will not be seated in the same seat you are sitting now. Francis Butagira next on the agenda. Nekatika na maje by some budgeted defense. Bakolachi, listening points. You were there as representatives.
But not supposed to talk.
Auntie, it must be refined. Their role must be refined. The army is an arbiter in society. Everywhere. Kenya bali bagati nnyo. Kenya lite ina Minister of Defense. Budget Directorate of Defense. The person who has elevated the Kenyan army is Uhuru Kenyatta. Amajega Kenya gaine shamba lichakamanda in chief. Chafiri Dimaso. Tewali ali shamba. Except Uhuru. Uhuru alinye mamba na agende Somalia. Kati Kenya ina Minister of Defense. Really Director of Defense and President's Office. Back together. Amajene bakajjayo. We must define what the role of the army should be in the parliament, not to go to witness civils.
It has to be reformed.
Sharing the money.
Another point to note, ekyabadde kyewunyisa mu kalukana akaba bannamagye abarepresented amagye parliament. Mwekumi ababaddeyo parliament ey'ekumi. Omuntu omu yekka yakomyewo. General Katumba Wamala, Minister of Transport and Works. And then nebana abalala, none of them was nominated. Okujjako General Eli Tumwine, Minister of Security, ne General Katumba Bokka. They were the only ones who were nominated.
I don't know what they use. But I congratulate Mushalo Yomita Nekesa if he is the one. Dr. Our President. But Dr. Our President Ivanji Bali arrogant. Mwalo is a tiny woman. Taina tewali yagenda we nga mulwadde n'atamuwali ddagala. Nekesa can even recommend people mu pharmacies gundi n'akumonaga nti I can help you. Oyo onamuwagaliza is a good woman, is a good girl. Kakati nze kisimanyi bwe baba balonda omukulu w'ekika sibibeeramu. Not interested. Baba balonda mufuti oba wabakatoliki oba owani they know what they follow. Kati amagye ge gamanyi ku rizeria zaabwe
gye bayitamu okulonda. Wakati oyongerayo ne STV the sharp talk era ng'olunaku olw'eggulo
kakati Katumba Wamala ali presentinga amagye oba minisita
ani
nalabye nga
Katumba Wamala nozeera byonna jangu aw'amagye
but that institution the institution of the army mbawagira buwagezi. I don't put it good. The army has done a lot of work for us. Is our remaining ambassador.
Some scholars say that Chobugaga President Museveni kyayinza okulekera ensi yattu Uganda ge magye. Reason ge gasinga otwala budget y'eggwanga, they take the lion share. Ekyokubiri they are well educated. Tulinamu abalina zi masters, abalina zi degree.
But sacrifice yabasomesa nnyo sacrifice. Naye ate n'atakisomesa balala. Kyobula bambaga nti Museveni kanitemu lion alone embwa nemwetolooza oluggi. Bano nabatta abantu yalikwatiddeyo n'ayita kabanga naye okuvayo manyi kye bagiddeko babadde batunulidde mabega bweba nga balowooza agenda bago ne batema we baatuukidde nja bakubamu obutambi bwe mutankubira simu kakati nze that's all nti nabano sibawalana naye nze what I tell you fought to me I've been exonerated nze kumwayitanga omuyaga gwe mwayitanga ki one of them said nti we underestimated that man. We could not believe that that man has the technology until the Israelis told me that the such machine exists. And I had to buy a jacket to repair. Nalaba obukyayina nga bubabba ne bukwata n'essimu zaabwo zonna ne buzooza ne buzaanika. Ekyuma ekyange ne bwojja mu simu kaadi n'ogisuula. Simu kaadi empya gy'otaddemu esooka kulaga zeeri enkadde nekikubuulira nti nze ndi mupya oli munnange bamugyemu.
Muzitambale nga tudda ku nsonga ya Bobi Wine. Last week watugamba you survived an assassination attempt. What happened?
Andi nkugambye nabawulira ku byuma byange nga mbalabe mutungo. And one of them has come to confess to me. Another one went through my friend. Nali mbalabe mutungo. Neyabagula namulaba. Nabakubira n'essimu. You know my name is Kalancho. All of the wound. Nimbuulira Amekamanda, ne General Sabit, ne Mariam, mwanyina wa president. Wange sirogologo, nze byuma bikwata. Kakati they disagreed. Ndowooza yafuna luma nti mbitegedde. Naye mu kibo era byaga, he's a coward. He's a coward. That's what he usually does. Analyze this comment. He's a coward. Sometimes he hires two groups and he stops the one and the other one operates. Okitegedde? Bwe bayogera abasajja abo nti ogwo muzeegwe olumu ahayalinga ttiimu bbiri emu n'agigana endala netta ekitegeeza si bwe gusoose okutta. Ekyokubiri baamugamba ffe twasembulidde dda ebyuma byaffe tumaze okusendinga abantu ku site nze nno nali mbalabye ewaffe ku kyalo ne mbakubira n'ejjaawo. Kakati yabawa miliyoni aga okusevinga nakyobe bwe bategeera nti mbaguddemu ebyuma byabakwata bonna ng'era bagamba nti bya bulimba ate banyamba nnyo okungoba ku NBS kubanga nali sibukuba miliyoni baalya miliyoni 5 okuzzayo ebyuma byabwe. Ono yabawadde 5. Kakati ate the following day naye ndaba ababodaboda babisatu yava kwogera na pulezidenti n'ayogera nabo ku Serena nga mbalaba ne babagamba first report tukajjansi kuba bali bagamba nti bwe tutagenda na silencers abantu bajja kujja. We must get silencers, evaluated patrol vehicles, response ya military, police, barracks, byonna ne babibala. Kati bano mbalaba bava ku Serena baaba
basatu
nenkubira owekajjansi ne muganda nga nze navayo ne mugakubira aliyo balina bye bawadde instructions bwe balumba ewange you don't respond. Batuuka ekajjansi basanga information yatuuseewo dda bapakinga ku mabbali bodabodas babulira bwe bajja mbamanyi. Kakati the last one ne batula mu meeting international lawyer bwe baagula mutunula bwe nti yabagamba if you don't kill in the local advocacy abantu ne bakitegeera keesi eba efudde abantu bajja batta kill in the local advocacy. Kill me, to kill me. We know Musairesi, the younger man. I was watching you. You are hired, you are an international lawyer, you handled the previous case, I know your face. If I use video clips, you can irritate in your troubles.
Wow, so sad that is coming from your side. Neka tuyongere on STV the sharp talk. Mpozi tugenda kuba tudda ku mboozi ya Robert Kyagulanyi Ssentamu era ng'ono yakwata kyakubiri mu kalulu akawedde aka 14 January omwezi gwe tukubye emabega nga President Museveni yalangirirwa akakiiko k'ebyokulonda ka Uganda Electoral Commission akamanyiddwa nga the Independent Uganda Electoral Commission. Kati no lunaku olw'eggulo baatutte petition oba baatutte okuwaaba kwabwe nga bawakanya ensalawo y'akakiiko k'ebyokulonda era nga muno balistinze grounds 26 okay kwe beesigamye kubagamba nti okusinziira ku Electoral Commission bwe yarunning akalulu kotte baati kali free and fair bawabidde Anthony General ne bawabira NRM wamu ne President Museveni. So categories bantu basatu be bawabidde era emboozi eno kati yeriko ssaawa zino ekibuuzo ekyebuuzibwa Muzeyitamale. This is not the first time nga President Museveni wamu ne NRM ne Electoral Commission babawabira. Eyasembayo yali amamamba.
This is different.
Guno mulundi gwa
this is a different election.
Njagala okubuuza how different is this petition okusinziira ku ziri endala ezyakolebwa Kanani
Kizza Besigye,
wamu ne Amama Mbabazi. How different is Bobby Wine's petition?
The situation has
and
changed.
What are the expectations?
Let me tell you, I used to tell you that look what the candidates. Mugisha Muntu respects the president. Mugisha Muntu does not abuse the president. Mugisha Muntu has this yakulia mu family. Wa muntu yera. I think he's one of the few people who went to the bush kava mu family engaka. The way he conducts himself.
Katino manchi yagambi. Yagambi agenda standing behind Bobby Wine's petition. Era muchimuche beetaga agenda chiba wa. In case of any missing document.
Mwalaba oyogundi yali kano ne bamukuza okufuuka mekamanda. Omanyi kuzi ya swati ngoyo omusajja Mugisha Muntu. I respect Mugisha Muntu. Kakati ekyokubiri Besigye had personal vendetta against Museveni. Very bitter man. I was his doctor. The doctors disclosed. Were you the only doctor? What about the doctor Bata? So basically, I could see the difference. Kakati Bobby Wine, tufunye omukisa guli bwe guti. I never handled us.
But lawyers, a team ya lawyer.
I have seen me handled us. Bobby Wine in America, kubanga bano abamu ekibiina.
America bwegera ko
the mafias. Bamuwa ekibiina bamucontrolling.
America bwegera ko ngabigana.
Sai mu controlling. This is very good. Nabaga nti America tebanatuusa Museveni ku regime change. They want him to make reforms. And this can help us to give us a respected opposition. Etali bent on the chaos. Mbebazaako ebintu biri. I congratulated Bobby Wine. So far, sirabanga mukulembeze oba omwogezi nganda bw'abadde ayogera Ssenyonyi si bw'ayogera. Ssenyonyi yabagambye temwekalakaasa. Abatugamba twekalakaase batukola tuveeyo batutte. I have never heard a story from Nganda. Nganda yatuukako okugamba nti buli mujasi wa Somalia asala enkoko gwe battire Somalia asala enkoko a parliamentarian.
How do you say that?
An MP, a parliamentarian, you don't know that nasoma nenganda international relations. Policy yajanga buyisi. A country does not have issues to pursue beyond its borders. Ngati Ssenyonyi nenganda banjawulo. They are for peace. Two, to take it to court, to go to court, we care for them. This is a mature way and civilized way of handling the issues. Kakati nze always am ahead. Akatabo kankano kalaba.
The rise and making of Kyagulanyi.
Yes. Nabagamba nti the reason why Museveni has stuck to the rules, adhered to the rules, he knows he will win. And he is guarding against nullification. Nullification of elections is possible in Uganda now. Kisoboka.
How?
There are two reasons. One, unlike previous elections, the court gave us benchmarks, which are contained here. The second point is that the international trend, nullifying the election. Let me conclude my submission with a reminder to those who are violating the laws as directed by the Electoral Commission. The 2021 election is different from previous elections and therefore guided by benchmarks that can lead to nullification. Some people think that no Ugandan judge can make such a radical decision. However, we should observe the following.
One,
nullification is possible.
And it is one of the top
agenda
petition. Bagala court is a
anti nabagamba before kana kawadikati go baita drunkard. Who was a drunkard who was defeated, you become what?
Okay.
You become more drunkard. If a drunkard defeats you, you become more drunkard. If a fool defeats you, you become a more foolish person. Kakati nkugamba. One, the judiciary in Uganda has seen the benefits of being credible. Those who have stood by the people have been rewarded by international jobs, while those who do not have lost. Look what Katulevi, look what Kavuma. Kavuma was acting Chief Justice. Tebachimuwa. Kavuma has not been given a government that requires a job that requires parliamentary vetting. Itaitamu. Katulebe immediately because of his credibility. Are you an international job? So the judges are watching. Are you working for the international market or the domestic market? ICC, these judges, the bosses, the 17 days, they give wound ntende bamutwala sessions because our judiciary, our education is high. Kakati, that's number one. Judges have seen the benefits of being a Butulika, being an independent, and being credible. Kavuma has been dumped like a rotten banana. The only job Kavuma could get was to be chairman of a Civil Aviation Authority, a job that does not require vetting. He does not consider himself for an external market. Number two, the judges retire with their benefits, meaning that they have no need to work in the shadows of the big brother. Parliament gave them money. A judge in America is a judge for life. These
2019,
by their benefits.
The bargain of Suswani.
Bachiwa.
So to get so basing on those factors. Before
Labour government Museveni has adhered nga bala mutebabitegera bali ba sente
olinga agamba before
bazina balagati sati balagachi Labour government Museveni has accepted. I was supposed okwogeranga mu badelegates abo nanyini buyinza sente zange nazitwala mbongende mukolere how so nesiri zange millions zange lukaga ne bazibba ngende mbakolere mmwe kasompita mu meeting ba nkwasiza wo mutu. Why don't you give me my budget? I started addressing the rallies. About delegates in Mbogeram. I'm very popular in Uganda. Do you observe it? One, well, President Webu go over to Yagamut, Nagan to Sissobon. That man has helped the government. To Mukunde Yabagam. If you kill that man, you're making a very big mistake. Gamba will discuss. Yabagamba, I am by New Museveni. I take up double position bamuwuliriza waliwo nsinza following ku social media kati omwana nga badde agibeera ku motoka ya mutomedde ayinza n'okufa izini kuli ku condition bani aba mutomedde jabbakolako
eyokusatu eriki.
Number 3, Museveni cannot seek another election and this must be his last lap. Therefore, people are positioning themselves for post-Museveni's era. Ugandans should also take a note of the precedents like what has happened in Kenya and Malawi. If the Kenyans did it, if the Malawians judges did it, what prevents these people from doing it?
So Olinga Gamba, or you get the credibility after retirement. No, you get a 2019, take care by no Sasua even after retirement. So before, were they compromised?
Auntie Banovaja Kankoboli. Attorney General Museveni tamukomyawo oluwanga musobozi. Do you know that Parliament passed a law nti election officer yenna amessing up election yasibibwa emyaka 14 ne bategeera nti enaalebwe kuwaayo babidde beegundi era nti amuteringiyo. What the president says nti bamubye ekitoofu but they had a computerized machine. Teria election yonna, even a storm hurricane, teyinza kusuula mayumba gonna, teriyo kulonda kukuba minisita bonna. That is a computerized system. Abasajja baali batta abakazi abo nagenda obakwata nga balina computerized system bwe bagamba nti nja kukubira ku ssaawa 3 n'eddakiika 15 zibeezo nje kikusomeramu olabe. This is a computerized rigging. Ekyokubiri, President yakola ensobi. Lwakoja was an experienced man. Nga mu electoral commission yaluddemu. N'amugobola okuligesa linnya ekyo ne yali mu reprimandis. Intelligence yagoberako Lwakoja. Muyiso mwekiri yetransfer Lwakoja, a man with valuable information. Lwakoja yagenda Gomba ne bamubuuza onoonyeza mukazi w'akalu waggulu tutiikinga eyo mwesalirewo Did the intelligence follow up Lwakoji? Do they know the person people Lwakoji was talking about? A man who has been running the electoral commission, Ngabano novice. Abano novice. Banova novice. The man who has been managing electoral commission in Mugobi. Ate sebabatwala mu court. Bafuna benefits bafuna ki.
Anti bagamba they went for early retirement.
Alirinda mukazi we.
Wakadde muzeyita male.
Kalande ngamba.
Kigenda wunzikibwa kitya.
Nandi nkugamba. Ndi mwe mutamanyi. Balete teke lyakanze ba returning officers. Ne bategeera nti NRM ekuwaayo NRM mutekolerwa. Kakati nkugamba. Bino byonna bibateeramu. Liko ba judges bibabagamba. The time for filing and determination of the petition. In the course of hearing this petition, the issue of inadequacy of time provided in article, the constitution for filing and determining of presidential elections petition came up. The same issue was also pointed out by this court. Bino byonna babiyitamu abalamuzi ne bibateeramu before. Ne mbagamba nti abalamuzi kakati mukimanyi okufayiringa affidavits ezo tekikwetaagisa genda mu kooti. Oli awandika kiwandiiko ki balooya bawono ne bakitwala. Kakati nentunuulira abasajja bano tebabala. Obujo kagulupu ako Museveni bwali batakakoti naye abazungu bakatukoledde.
So kyogamba tuyinza osuubirayo.
Look what the role of Lukutana in all of the petitions. Lukutana was leading the government team in all petitions. Lukutana is humbled before the elections of all prisons put in Kitalia. Lukutana loses and are you going to go to him? Pasajamui, Bumirundi to Muchimayu. I'm a human being. Gandhi studied my behavior. After humiliating me, you cannot use me again. That happens in marriage. That's why I want to retire. My few remaining years, I need compensation. Wikire. Ne president said balize bakwata billion ya bili nazikwata azimpe anazitwala mulamba. My mother was almost lynched for producing a son who was supporting Museveni. The way he was bundled out of state house. Akasajja akanagisi ne kankube myezi eno. Even look at the new vision will pay me 100 million. I'm not go to court. They will come to me needing. Kulu byanjamula kakone kabusenga. Ogoba kabusenga kinkwatako kabusenga muyinza okubanga mwamugobi nga naye ali linkiti mugundi mu bino new vision negamba no let us protect our image mubadde mu mugoba jo why does he come out nga warrants of arrest zimaze okufulumeza ISIS
naye mwana
sikudu waliwo kano kaleta tape we are in big trouble we are in big ebanja ly'omwenge ligwana mwenge. This is what I told you tumwebaze. This is what I told you tumwebaze. That under Chiganda culture, you steal a calabash of beer, you compensate with a calabash of beer. Nange wanyonona, no leta tape, singa Museveni yali amini, kulina obutubu kalibu, ke akote, katika sula wa muganda wako mubala kisi, kate, ati tugenda bakola akakodi. Aba abali mwebyo, uli mulaba mu kibuga. Fiu, ngala byedda mu motoka yayo. We are going to harass you. Teweza kutta bana bafu. Buli ali mu list yeyo. Kasa mu mulaba fiu. Ngate mange ngala byagiza mu motoka. Ngadduka bajja kugga. Ngono musajja yatawo. Oyo musajja yatawo abana 10 bikanga n'abatundayo. He invested in bus. This man, you invested in bus, you are watching me. You invested in bus. It's only because I'm a mature man. I cannot reveal you. When the late Nabagam, when Professor Kanyere was about to die, he came to me and told me how he was involved in this scam. That he went to bank, borrowed the money, Professor Kanyere left the list of surgeons who are doing this work in hospitals, a network he had established. But because I'm a mature man, I know, I have kept this list and I will not reveal it to anybody. don't kill me for
tetugenda
this.
kubanga letusuka waawo ku STV the sharp talk wabula bakakasa nti mubadde balayi balungi okuva bwe twatandise zabadde ssaawa 3 paka ssaawa zino ebule dakiika nnyo okuwera ssaawa 5 tugenda okubanga tuviiramu amanya nze Simon Chris Makanga mwabadde batulaba ku YouTube mwebale nnyo era mwabadde batulaba mu zaakeds abadde ku offices bonna mwebale kubanga tutambudde ffenna nkoze ne bannange okuli Husna Apet producer Jeff Wamuni Robert Jones mu control room Don the Draw ne Mansuli babadde ku kamera musibe bulungi mpaka olwokubiri oluddako mweraba.
Ebirowoozo by'owulidde mu pulogulaamu eno si bya STV abakozi baayo oba n'abagiddukanya wabula bya muntu ssekinnoomu. STV erungamizibwa ekitongole kya Uganda Communications Commission.